Tonight, I invite you to step into a new awareness, an awareness of the unseen riches already present in your life. Too often we look at what we lack, what is missing, what has not yet arrived. But I tell you, if you would only shift your attention, you would see that you have been given more than you realize. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it is a creative force. It is the key that unlocks the hidden wealth within you. When you give thanks, not for what your senses confirm, but for what your heart knows to be true, you awaken the infinite within. You begin to see that nothing is truly withheld from you, only waiting for recognition. Tonight I ask you to put aside the habit of waiting for reasons to be thankful. Instead, I invite you to feel gratitude now, to see your world through new eyes, and to claim the abundance that has always been yours. Gratitude is not merely a polite gesture or a fleeting emotion. It is a law, a principle upon which all abundance rests. When you express sincere gratitude, you align yourself with the infinite flow of creation. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. And if that inner state is one of thanksgiving, life will mirror it back to you in ways beyond your comprehension. Most people believe they must wait for something to be grateful for. They think they need to see evidence of abundance before they can give thanks. But this is the great misunderstanding that keeps them trapped in cycles of lack and frustration. The truth is, gratitude must come first. It is the seed from which all manifestations grow. Just as a farmer does not wait for a harvest before he plants the seed, you must not wait for abundance before you give thanks. You must first cultivate the feeling, and then the outer world will shape itself to match it. Consider the mind as a fertile field. Whatever is planted there, be it thoughts of wealth or poverty, joy or sorrow, will grow and bear fruit. When you dwell in a state of gratitude, you are planting the seeds of abundance. You are signaling to life that you already have what you need, and in response, life gives you more. This is why those who are genuinely grateful, even in the absence of visible wealth, seem to attract prosperity effortlessly. They have unlocked the secret. They are thankful not because they have received, but because they know they will receive. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present. It dissolves the illusion of lack and replaces it with an awareness of the infinite supply surrounding you. When you begin to give thanks for the things you once took for granted, the breath in your lungs, the beating of your heart, the opportunities before you, you awaken to the truth that life is already abundant. You stop yearning for more and instead recognize that you already possess more than enough. And yet, gratitude is not simply about acknowledging what you can see. It is about knowing deep within that all things are already yours. It is an acceptance of the unseen, an inner conviction that what you desire is not separate from you, but is already moving toward you. In this way, gratitude becomes an act of faith. It affirms the unseen reality, drawing it closer with every heartfelt expression of thanks. There are those who believe that life is random, that some are lucky while others are not. But those who understand the power of gratitude know that luck is simply the natural effect of a consciousness aligned with abundance. They do not passively wait for good fortune to arrive. They summon it by living in a state of thanksgiving. Their thoughts and emotions send out an irresistible call to the universe, and the universe answers with opportunities, wealth, and fulfillment. When you make gratitude your daily practice, you begin to see a transformation in every area of your life. You notice that your relationships improve, your finances expand, and your circumstances shift in ways you never expected. The things you once chased after begin to flow to you with ease, not because the world has changed, but because you have. You have tuned yourself to the frequency of abundance, and now abundance is all you can experience. Gratitude is the simplest yet most powerful key to a life of limitless joy and prosperity. It requires no external changes, no special circumstances, only a shift in perception. And once you unlock its power, you will wonder how you ever lived without it. Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of your awareness. What you accept as true, what you focus upon, what you give your emotional energy to, these are the forces shaping your world. The circumstances you see before you, whether favorable or unfavorable, did not arise by chance. They are the outpicturing of your inner state, the materialized form of what you have been consciously or unconsciously dwelling upon. Most people believe that reality is something external, something outside of them that they must react to. They assume the world exists independently of their perception and that their role is merely to navigate whatever circumstances life throws their way. But the truth is far more profound. Reality is not something fixed and separate from you. It is molded by your awareness, shaped by the ideas you consistently entertain. Your awareness is like a film projector, and your life is the screen upon which it plays. If you do not like what is being shown, the answer is not to struggle against the images on the screen. It is to change the film, to shift the focus of your mind. The thoughts and feelings you dwell upon act as the script, determining what scenes unfold in your life. The world does not bring you what you want. It brings you what you are conscious of being. If you are conscious of being poor, no amount of effort or hard work will bring lasting wealth. If you are conscious of being unloved, no amount of searching will bring you the love you crave. The key is not to fight against what is, but to elevate your awareness to a higher state. The secret to transformation is simple. Become aware of yourself as already possessing the good you seek. This is not a trick of the mind, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the very nature of creation. Everything you desire exists in potential, waiting to be called forth by your awareness. When you assume the feeling of already being the person you wish to be, the world must reshape itself to match your assumption. The outer world is nothing but a mirror. It cannot reflect back to you anything other than what you persistently hold in consciousness. This is why two people can live in the same city, work in the same profession, and yet experience vastly different realities. One moves through life effortlessly, attracting opportunities, wealth, and harmony. The other struggles at every turn, encountering obstacles and disappointments. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in their state of awareness. One sees the world as abundant, full of possibilities, and so that is what life reveals to them. The other sees only struggle, lack, and limitation, and so those are the experiences they encounter. Your awareness is the only thing you must change, and when you do, everything else must follow. But most people resist this truth because it places the responsibility entirely upon them. It is easier to believe that life is random, that success is a matter of luck, or that happiness is dependent on external factors. Yet those who understand the power of awareness know that nothing is truly outside of them. Every event, every encounter, every opportunity is drawn to them by the state of mind they persist in. There is no power outside of you shaping your destiny. The only power is within, and it is always at work, whether you recognize it or not. If you wish to change your life, do not look to external forces. Look within. Ask yourself, what am I accepting as true? What am I constantly focusing upon? What emotions am I feeding? These are the questions that reveal the cause behind every effect you experience. When you awaken to the truth that your awareness is the creator of your world, you cease to be a victim of circumstances. You no longer wait for things to change. You change them by shifting your perception. You begin to live deliberately, knowing that the world must conform to the reality you hold within. And once you master this, you will see that nothing is beyond your reach. The greatest illusion in life is the belief that circumstances have power over you. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to think that the external world dictates what we can and cannot do, what we can and cannot have, who we can and cannot become. We are told that our background, our environment, our financial status, our education, and even the opinions of others determine our destiny. But this is not true. The only limitation in life is the one you accept in your mind. The conditions around you are not fixed barriers, they are merely reflections of past thoughts and beliefs, easily changed the moment you shift your awareness. Consider a person who believes they cannot achieve success because they were born into poverty. They look at their surroundings and see lack, struggle, and hardship, and they assume that these conditions are unchangeable facts. But what they fail to realize is that these conditions did not create their beliefs created these conditions. And because they continue to accept lack as their reality, they unknowingly keep themselves in the very situation they wish to escape. But the moment they dare to believe otherwise, the moment they refuse to see their circumstances as limitations, the world around them must begin to change. Your circumstances do not hold power over you. They are not separate from you. They are a reflection of what you have assumed to be true about yourself. If you believe you are bound by financial difficulty, by lack of opportunity, by social conditions, or by anything external, then life will continue to show you evidence to confirm that belief. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that you are not limited, that you are greater than any obstacle, something remarkable happens. You begin to experience a shift, not because the world suddenly changes, but because you have changed, and the world has no choice but to follow. The world is fluid, not fixed. It is shaped by your inner reality. Those who have achieved greatness did not do so because the world made it easy for them. They did so because they refused to accept limitations. They saw beyond the appearance of things and claimed the reality they desired, even when there was no physical evidence to support it. History is filled with people who rose above impossible odds, people who had no resources, no connections, and no logical reason to succeed, yet they did. They did not allow circumstances to define them. Instead, they defined themselves, and by doing so, they changed their reality. Most people believe they must work within the limitations of their circumstances. They believe they must fight, struggle, and exhaust themselves to break free. But true transformation does not come from fighting against conditions. It comes from seeing them for what they truly are, temporary manifestations of past thinking. If you do not like what you see in your life, you do not need to push against it. You only need to withdraw your belief from it and place your focus on a higher reality. Circumstances seem powerful only when you forget your true nature. They appear immovable only when you give them more power than they deserve. But the moment you realize that life is responding to you, that it is shaped by your inner world, you reclaim the power that has always been yours. You stop feeling trapped. You stop looking at obstacles as permanent. Instead, you see them as illusions, passing shadows that dissolve the moment you shift your awareness. There is no external force holding you back. There is no unseen hand deciding what you can or cannot have. The only force that shapes your life is the one within you, and it is limitless. When you stop seeing circumstances as obstacles and start seeing them as temporary effects of past thinking, you free yourself. You become the master of your reality, the creator of your experience. And from that moment forward, the world must bend to the vision you hold within. Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of the feelings you consistently dwell in. The world is not responding to your words, your wishes, or even your intellectual beliefs. It is responding to the emotions you embody. Feeling is the secret, because feeling is what impresses upon the unseen forces of creation. It is not enough to merely think about what you want. You must feel as though you already have it. You must sink into the sensation of the wish fulfilled, allowing it to become the dominant vibration within you. Most people live their lives reacting to circumstances, allowing the outer world to dictate how they feel. If things go well, they feel happy. If things go poorly, they feel discouraged. But this is moving through life backwards. Circumstances do not create feelings. Feelings create circumstances. The emotions you nurture within yourself are shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. This is why two people can be placed in the same situation yet have completely different experiences. One walks through life with an expectation of joy, and joy follows them wherever they go. Another expects hardship, and hardship meets them at every turn. The difference is not in the external world, but in the state of feeling each person carries within. When you understand that feeling precedes form, you stop waiting for proof before you allow yourself to feel differently. You no longer say, "I will be happy when my circumstances change." Instead, you realize, "My circumstances will change when I feel happy." This is not wishful thinking or self-deception. It is the very mechanism by which life unfolds. Every great change, every breakthrough, every transformation begins within, with a shift in feeling. Consider a person who desires wealth but constantly feels poor. They may repeat affirmations, visualize success, or work tirelessly toward their goals, yet their financial situation remains unchanged. Why? Because beneath all their effort, they still carry the emotional state of lack. They feel as though they do not have enough, and because feeling is the secret, life continues to reflect that feeling back to them. Contrast this with someone who may not yet have visible wealth but feels abundant. They carry themselves with ease, with a quiet confidence that all their needs are met. And soon enough, life must rearrange itself to match that inner certainty. The outer world cannot help but take the shape of what is felt within. This is the reason why many struggle despite their hard work. They believe effort alone creates results, but effort without the right feeling is like trying to light a fire without a spark. It is feeling that ignites change. You can labor endlessly toward a goal, but if the dominant feeling within you contradicts that goal, progress will always be slow and uncertain. But the moment you align your emotions with your desired outcome, the path becomes effortless. Opportunities arise, doors open, and what once seemed impossible begins to unfold naturally. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the language through which you communicate with the creative power of the universe. You may say that you want love, success, or happiness, but what are you feeling right now? If you are feeling lonely while seeking love, you are unknowingly pushing love away. If you are feeling desperate while pursuing success, you are reinforcing the very lack you wish to escape. The key is to shift the feeling first. To feel now as you would if your desire were already fulfilled. This is not pretending or forcing. It is aligning yourself with the reality you wish to experience. Some believe they cannot control their emotions, that feelings come and go as they please. But this is another illusion. Just as you can choose which thoughts to dwell on, you can choose which feelings to nurture. When an unwanted emotion arises, you do not have to fight it, but you also do not have to indulge it. You can gently guide yourself into a new state, using imagination, gratitude, and self-awareness to shift how you feel. Over time, this practice becomes effortless, and you naturally dwell in states of joy, confidence, and abundance. Feeling is the secret because it is the cause behind every effect in your life. It determines the quality of your experiences, the people you attract, and the opportunities that unfold before you. Once you master the art of feeling, you no longer live at the mercy of external events. You become the conscious creator of your world, shaping reality from within. Most people move through life believing they lack something: money, opportunities, love, success. They focus on what is missing, on what they do not yet have, and in doing so, they blind themselves to the infinite riches already within their grasp. They measure abundance only by what their five senses can perceive, failing to recognize that true wealth, true power, and true fulfillment begin within. What you see with your eyes is only a fraction of what is available to you. The truth is, you have more than you think. And the moment you awaken to this realization, life begins to reveal its limitless nature. The mind is conditioned to seek external validation for abundance. It looks to the size of a bank account, the status of a career, or the presence of material possessions as proof of prosperity. But those who understand the nature of creation know that true abundance is not something you acquire, it is something you recognize. You already possess everything you need, though it may not yet be visible to the senses. The wealth, love, joy, and success you seek are not outside of you, waiting to be found. They are within you, waiting to be claimed. Consider the breath you take, the body that moves without effort, the mind capable of thought and imagination. These are riches beyond measure, yet they are often taken for granted. The ability to dream, to feel, to envision a greater life. These are the tools of creation, and they are already yours. The power to shape your destiny does not come from external circumstances. It comes from your awareness. The moment you shift your focus from lack to abundance, you begin to see that life has already given you more than enough. Every great achievement, every success story, every moment of transformation began with someone who realized they already had what they needed. They did not wait for the perfect opportunity or ideal conditions. They used what was at hand. The greatest artists did not begin with unlimited resources. They began with an idea. The most successful people did not wait for permission to succeed. They recognized the power within themselves and acted upon it. Those who move through life believing they lack something remain trapped in limitation, while those who recognize their inherent abundance attract more of it. You have more than you think because life itself is abundant, and you are inseparable from that abundance. Every day, opportunities surround you, yet many fail to see them because they are looking for something else. They expect abundance to arrive in a specific form, failing to realize that it is already present in countless unseen ways. The mind, when focused on lack, overlooks the hidden treasures that exist in every moment. But the moment you begin to appreciate what you already have, life expands to show you even more. Gratitude is the key to unlocking this awareness. When you give thanks for what is already present, you activate the law of increase. You begin to see that you are not waiting for abundance. It has been waiting for you to acknowledge it. The simple act of shifting your focus from scarcity to sufficiency changes everything. Suddenly you recognize the opportunities that were always there, the relationships that enrich your life, the skills and talents that set you apart. You stop seeking and start receiving. Many believe they need more money, more time, more success before they can feel secure or fulfilled. But this is an illusion. It is not more that you need, it is awareness. When you believe you do not have enough, you live in a state of lack, and that lack is mirrored back to you in your experience. But when you recognize that you already have all you need to move forward, the path opens effortlessly before you. You have more than you think because you are more than you think. You are not a limited being struggling to survive in a world of scarcity. You are a creator, endowed with the power to shape reality through your awareness. Everything you desire is already within reach, not as something you must chase, but as something you must recognize. The moment you awaken to this truth, life begins to unfold in ways beyond your imagination. Every desire you hold, every dream you nurture, already exists in the unseen. What you long for is not something you must chase, fight for, or struggle to attain. It is something you must claim by assuming it is already yours. The great secret to creation is this: you must live in the end. You must mentally and emotionally occupy the state of the fulfilled desire, not as a wish, not as something you hope will one day come true, but as a reality already secured. Most people live in the middle, caught between what they want and what they currently perceive. They allow their senses to dictate what is real, believing that they must first see evidence before they can accept something as true. But the world does not work that way. The outer world is nothing more than a shadow of the inner world, a reflection of what is firmly held in consciousness. If you persist in seeing yourself as lacking, as struggling, as waiting, then that is exactly what life will continue to show you. The secret is to step beyond the current appearance of things and dwell in the reality of the wish fulfilled. To live in the end means to assume, with absolute certainty, that your desire is already accomplished. It means thinking from the state of fulfillment rather than of it. Most people make the mistake of longing for their desires from a place of separation. They see what they want as distant, as something that exists outside of them. But the moment you feel that your desire is something apart from you, you reinforce the idea that it is absent. And absence is exactly what life will reflect back to you. Instead, you must adopt the feeling of already being the person you wish to become. If you desire wealth, you must think and feel as though you are already wealthy. If you seek love, you must carry yourself as someone who is already deeply loved. If you wish for success, you must embody the confidence and certainty of someone who has already achieved it. This is not pretending, this is not delusion, this is the very mechanism by which reality is shaped. The mind cannot hold two opposing beliefs at once. You cannot claim to be abundant while feeling poor. You cannot claim to be loved while feeling unworthy. The state you dwell in consistently is the one that manifests in your world. Living in the end is the practice of assuming with unwavering faith that all you seek is already yours. You do not need to know how it will happen. You do not need to force events to unfold. The world will reshape itself to match your assumption in ways that seem natural and inevitable. Doubt is the enemy of creation. The moment you question whether your desire will come to pass, you step out of the state of fulfillment and back into the state of waiting. And as long as you wait, you postpone your manifestation. Living in the end requires conviction. It requires the ability to persist in your assumption, even when the outer world has not yet caught up. You must remain faithful to the unseen, knowing that what is real in imagination will soon become real in experience. Those who have mastered this principle move through life with a quiet assurance. They do not chase opportunities, for they know that the right opportunities will come. They do not worry about circumstances, for they know that circumstances will adjust to match their inner state. They are not swayed by temporary setbacks, for they understand that the end result is already secured. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. The world will take care of the rest. The people, the events, the opportunities. All will be drawn to you in perfect order, aligning effortlessly with the reality you have claimed. But you must remain firm. You must live as though it is already done, think from the place of fulfillment, and refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts your chosen state. To live in the end is to step beyond the illusion of time. It is to recognize that what you seek is not in some distant future, but here and now, waiting for you to accept it. And the moment you do, the moment you truly believe it, the world will shift in response. Everything you desire, whether love, success, health, or abundance, is already within your reach. The only thing standing between you and its realization is your state of awareness. You are not bound by circumstances, nor are you at the mercy of fate. You are the creator of your reality, shaping your world through the thoughts you persistently hold, and most importantly, the feelings you embody. To truly transform your life, you must move beyond wishing, beyond hoping, and step into knowing. You must assume the reality of your desire, living from the end as if it were already accomplished. This is not mere imagination, it is the law by which all things come into being. When you feel yourself to be something, the world must conform to that assumption. Gratitude opens the gateway to abundance, reminding you that you already have more than you think. Your awareness, your ability to feel, to assume, and to persist, these are the true riches of life. When you shift from lack to sufficiency, from waiting to receiving, from wishing to believing, you unlock the infinite potential that has always been within you. There is no need to struggle, no need to chase, no need to force. Simply assume, feel, and trust. Live in the end, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect your inner certainty. The path has already been laid. Your only task is to walk it with faith, knowing that all you seek is already yours.